This episode is going to be about Terrell Owens. His pretty much his insights to the game is always special, but I have to remind people that if you was not listening to Terrell Owens when he was playing, 9 times out of 10, you should not listen to him now. Terrell Owens, yes, you can say that he is a Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's inducted to the Hall of Fame, but that doesn't mean that it gives him validation to the nation for what he's talking about. Trust me, I do know that there's a segment of people that loves Love Tom Brady. And would love to have Tom Brady on this particular team, especially 6 Super Bowls that he have actually. And of course, you got to contribute and actually say, well, with Bill Belichick, there's 2 things that I want people to realize and understand. Bill Belichick is a gem, and we can't give all of the love and adulation to one side and not the other. That's the reality of it. That's how we have to actually look at this thing. Now, when we've been talking about this thing for a long time, I do know that a lot of people are going to look at only the Super Bowl rings, and they're going to look at the aspect of Tom Brady and his legacy and beyond. However, Tom Brady in the last 2 years been on a downward spiral, and his downward spiral is equivalent to what Dak Prescott has been exhibiting, you see. So you really don't get anything changed out of that situation. One can argue that this year alone, when you really look at Tom Brady's game, the defense helped him out. He reverted all the way back to like the '05, maybe '04, '05-ish, '03-ish Tom Brady. So that is how I look at it, and the market value is the market value. The Dallas Cowboys always don't like to pay their players outside of the Jason Wittens of the world, and maybe you can throw in the Tony Romos during that time span. So my thing is, Cowboy Nation, we have to look at the total picture and not just look at some of the picture and say to ourselves, man, this team, in order for us to get things going in the right direction, I think Mike McCarthy will find ways. He will. This will be a West Coast offense. He will get the ball out to the receivers quicker. And then on top of that, if he can let Eddie Lacy run, I really think that he can find ways to allow Ezekiel, the main man, Elliott to run. That's how I look at it, Cowboy Nation. I want to know how you guys feel, because to me personally, I think that this team, we got a long way to go. However, I'm looking at the offense. They had some things that they should have improved on during the offseason, and this corner around the corner right now, meaning that the red zone, money zone, and the efficiency rate, that should increase. That should flat out increase regardless. And shout out to you all. Shout out to Sip the Truth, man. Thank you for tuning in. Russell, really appreciate you. I'd rather see a new coach and see what the new coach can do, and see if he can be even better for Dak Prescott, basically, naturally. Nature / develop Dak? Yeah, I think so. He can give him the right directions. Dak is fine. This is from really Bradham. Really appreciate you. Thank you guys for commenting. Let's look at the facts. You guys already know that when we start looking at the numbers, that makes people appreciate things better. You see, in my opinion, when you start thinking about those things and start looking at everything from A to Z, you'll say to yourself, man, we're not that bad off, because I'm going to pull up the numbers for the last 2 seasons, Tom Brady versus the Dak Prescott. This can be done as well on your end via Pro Football Reference. Check them out. All right, so we got the numbers here, Cowboy Nation, and as we take a real good look at Tom Brady's, this is 2018 through 2019. Pretty much both of these guys played the same amount of games, 32 games. They both played 32 games. Completions pretty much in the same wheelhouse, 748 for Tom Brady, 744 for Dak Prescott. The attempts, still same situation. Completion percentage, 63.2 for Tom Brady, 66.3 for Dak Prescott. Same person, same amount of yards, 8,412 yards for Tom Brady, 8,787 yards. Now, as we look at these numbers, collectively speaking, Cowboy Nation, you will see You will flat out see that these numbers are a downward spiral for Tom Brady and an upward spiral for Dak Prescott. Completion rates and these sorts of things, we can all go back and forth. But if you look at the touchdown, 53 for Tom Brady, 52 for Dak Prescott. And this is with Tom Brady with all of these years of experience. Just let that sink into your mental. 92%, this is the rating, quarterback rating. This is like efficiencies. You got 92.6 for Tom Brady, 98.4. Who want to argue with facts? Now, I can say that Tom Brady collectively get the ball out quicker, and especially if you're talking about from last year. If you look at this number right here, 48 sacks for Tom Brady, that's not bad. 79 sacks for Dak Prescott, that was super bad. However, when you look at the total sum, this year, Dak Prescott got the ball out quicker, and he showed everybody this is more on the upward spiral. And everybody say dink and dunk Dak. This shows you every bit that Tom Brady dinks and dunks. 7.1 yards. That's the average time the ball is in the air. 7.8 for Rain Dakota Prescott. Here's the craziest thing. When we start talking about running of the ball, you see. Now, Dak Prescott, of course, he's younger. He's more mobile, what have you. He had 582 yards, which is good. And Tom Brady have 69. He got 69 yards. Let's keep that in mind, right? 5 touchdowns for him and 9 touchdowns. That's pretty much in the same wheelhouse. And if you want to go to like a per game basis, Cowboy Nation, you can really look at it from these perspectives that they're still the same. The completion percentage is the same as far as completions, and then you're talking about yards, 262 yards a game, and Dak Prescott is right at 274 yards per game. So the interception ratio, those guys are still in the same wheelhouse. So what I'm trying to say, Cowboy Nation, is stop looking for the low-hanging fruit and just appreciate what you got. Nietzsche once said, don't spoil what you have by desiring the things that you don't have, because at one point of time, the thing that you do have was something you dreamed for, longed for. And on top of that, Cowboy Nation, we can say that. We can flat out say that the fact that, man, Tom Brady will be a gem for us. Tom Brady will be everything nice with a little spice for us. But the sun is about to set on this kid. He's going to be 42 next year, going into 43, what have you. I wouldn't go that route. I don't know about you all, but I will say this. I would not go that route. And when we start talking about market value, a lot of people look at the player opposed to the actual product that's on the field. Let's talk about this market value. Let's talk about, I said it last night. We did it like a long show last night, and we was talking about some of the market values, and we were talking about how they come up with that number and these sorts of things. But this is on spoketrack.com. You can go there as well, and you can see the actual market value of Rain Dakota Prescott. And this is not an indictment on him, but this is pretty much just the raw numbers that they come up with. They said we selected the following players based on the age of the contract, status pretty much, and their stats production. And this is how they come up with that number. And you see the Carson Wentz name, you see Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. When they say stats, they're talking about this area and the length of their contract and the amount of value that they got for their contract based upon the stats, meaning that these guys are not that far ahead of Dak, or nor these guys are that far below Dak Prescott. Pretty much when you look at everything, this is just a projection. It's going anywhere from 5 years to $165 million, $33 million guaranteed, $33 million annual salary. Here's the craziest part of it all, Cowboy Nation. You can see his current salary, yes, $680,000. But what I want to say here is this is the craziest part. Every market value contract that I've ever seen that's been floated around, always the player got more than what their market value was. Ain't that something? That's crazy. That is flat out crazy. The player got more than what they were asking for. So what I'm trying to say is that Dak Prescott, he's going to get his bag, whether it be with the Dallas Cowboys or not. He's going to get $33 million and beyond. Now, I don't think that what Terrell Owens is saying that, hey, the Dallas Cowboys does not believe in Dak Prescott, but what I'm saying is what the actual facts is. The Dallas Cowboys been lollygagging, pussyfooting around, and we already know without a shadow of a doubt that this team normally will go ahead and reach into their pockets. They just had a crazy situation with Dak Prescott last year because they were not expecting this brother to put in those type of yards. They were not expecting these type of stats. Now, Dak Prescott did. He put the weight of this pressure of the contract on his shoulders. I can say that. And then on top of that, they didn't account for the fact that Ezekiel Elliott will be crying for his money earlier opposed to later. They didn't account for that. So those are things that's really that's a hit the Cowboys by surprise, believe it or not. It did. All right, so I'm gonna ask a few of you guys answer a few of you guys questions here. I really appreciate you all for tuning in to the nation. Let me know. Do you guys feel like you should allow, or the Dallas Cowboys should allow, Dak Prescott to walk, or you guys feeling like this? Hey, let's just go ahead and sign the brother, and let's go ahead and move on. You can build it up from there. And on top of that, Cowboy Nation, I looked at the market value last year. I looked at everything from A to Z last year. It was right at $22 million. By Dak Prescott alone, playing throughout this year, made everything go up. Everything to go up. So it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. I think that they shouldn't allow it to be this long. Sign Dak, this is from Rocky. Really appreciate you. I like D-Law trade, ideal. Get a second round pick for him. This is from Greg Berry. Here's the thing with trade. You got to find a dancing partner. Just because we say we want to trade somebody, you got to find a dancing partner. Law, turn your mic up. It's too low. I thought the mic was way up. Let me see. Can you hear me now? And my thing is, Cowboy Nation, if we can continue to do these things and do everything in a proper way, I think that we can find ways. Can you guys hear me better now? Let me know if you can hear me better now. Testing 1, 2, 3. Danny Ray says, "What's good with you?" I can't repeat what you're saying, but say something else, Danny Ray. We'll try to read that over the airways. 27 million, Quest Cowboy. 27 million. That's water under the bridge. There's no way that you can put up 27 million now for Dak Prescott because of the market value. You can't go below the market value at this point. I have yet to see anybody go under the market value. That's just the reality of it. That's just how it goes. Normally, when the market is set, and unfortunately, that's just how the world works. Believe it or not, that's just how it goes. Because especially when you look at the numbers, Dak Prescott got a situation where he himself got a committee that he have to answer to. His agency got a committee that they got to answer to. Meaning that if he go below the market value, the agent that's representing Dak Prescott, this company right here, this company over here, they will not be able, this company right here, they will not be able to sign another agent. Because what will happen here collectively, Todd France, CAA Sports Company, whatever the independent agent is, the next person that they sign, they're going to be like, no, we're not going to sign with you all because of the simple strength that you lowball Dak Prescott and you're supposed to represent him based off the stats that's in front of them. So that's why it's impossible for him to go below the market value. Unless the only way the $33 million will be unset if these guys right here that signed before him played at such a horrible rate that it would just go all the way back to everything being 27 or 28. But the reality of it, you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. That's just the reality. And I hate to say it, but that's the truth. That's the truth about contracting. That's the truth about negotiating. That's the truth about money. And as long as Dak Prescott stats, as long as everything is in the same wheelhouses of those guys, then fortunately, they're going to have to pony up and pay. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Salute to you, my Cowboys family. Really appreciate you all for tuning in. Danny Ray, thank you for tuning in as well. Was it Blocks Boy Mo? Blocks Boy Mo, appreciate you. Studwood, shout out to you. Let Amari Cooper go, and Byron. Here's the thing, and we talked a little bit about this last night. Really appreciate you all. Let's pull up Amari Cooper's contract, and we take a look at his particular situation. Amari Cooper, the reason why his market value is just like Dak Prescott, is higher than what it was last year, is because he performed, even on a plantar fasciitis. We're talking about numbers, Cowboy Nation. We ain't talking about product on the field. This is what the agency is going to pull up. They don't have no emotions into this matter. It's all about, at the end of the day, 5-year, $98 million is what his market value is. 9 times out of 10, it will be shocking if he signed like an $18, $17 million contract, because of these guys right here: Brandon Cook, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Julio Jones. Collectively, even though Michael Thomas balled crazy numbers, the stats still show and support that Amari Cooper is still in the same arena, basically. No matter how you look at it, I know that we are not a pass first team, but if you look at the collective numbers, and you will see that he improved from last year. 75 receptions, 79 this year. 1,100 yards, basically. And then on top of that, average yards per reception is 15.1. His agent is going to start off with those numbers. My player that I represent increased his total production, and on top of that, he was hurt, you say. So that's why it's hard to argue against numbers, and it's hard to let this particular production go, because at the end of the day, yes, Gallup had a fantastic year. Michael Gallup had done everything we wanted him to do. But I can argue the fact that Michael Gallup would not have those particular numbers if the coverages were not rolling over to Amari Cooper's side, you see. If the coverages were not sitting there saying to themselves, we're going to favor the best DB on the team to follow and chase Amari Cooper. So that's how we look at this thing, Cowboy Nation. Dak made Amari Cooper better. According to the stats, that's another leg that Dak Prescott and company can stand on as well. They can look at it and say, okay, when he was down here in Raiders land, he was giving this type of production. Now that he's with the Dallas Cowboys, he is getting this type of production. One can argue and say this and say, well, the Dallas Cowboys was 3-5 before this man came onto the scene. Remember last year? And he helped elevate that team to go to the playoff. They can use that as a leg to stand on. Yeah, so Cowboy Nation, it's just the nature of contract talking. It's just the nature of how everything look. We can say, get rid of this guy, get rid of Byron Jones, get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. But the reality of it is that these players, they played up to their contract, believe it or not. Now, it's not where we want to. We didn't get the wins out of it. No, we did not get the wins out of it. But collectively speaking, we did get these out of it. We got the stats. Stats are for losers, as everybody says. But we can't argue against those when the agency is pulling up those things, and you got to make your decision. Just like what everybody said with Ezekiel, the main man Elliott. Remember last night I pulled up that same type of topic, and we was talking about the fact that Ezekiel Elliott, his rookie year, was averaging 5.1 yards a carry. He was averaging 5.1 yards a carry. Do you guys think he's going to ever average 5.1 yards again? That's just how it goes, Cowboys. That's how it goes, man. And numbers are crazy. We signed that guy for a $90 million deal. 6 years, I believe, collectively speaking. That's a lot of football. Pro Football Focus, all I know is Dak has been throwing a lot of incomplete passes, not often, but he has this year. He must improve. This is from Akeem. Yep, but still, same situation. He improved. That's the only problem. He improved. His QBR still right at way above average, and on top of that, his completion percentages are above average as well. So that's just how to look at it, Cowboy Nation. All right, so this was just a quick deal. This is what I wanted to put out there to the universe. Let everybody know that even if you guys really want Tom Brady, you still have to go through a situation that you may see the same type of football as it relates to what Dak Prescott was exhibiting. And then on top of that, the conundrum piece would be you may see a drop in production even more. The guy's getting long in the tooth. That's just the reality of it. Everybody loved Tom Brady, but when it get down to playing actually on a Sunday, and think about this, people fail to realize the Dallas Cowboys media, you only got like 3 or 4 cameras up there in Boston. Not saying that Tom Brady will shy away from the camera, but in Dallas, boy, you're going to have 50 cameras in that locker room almost. They're going to try to squeeze everybody in there. That's just how it goes. Shout out to you, Greg Berry. He says, no, Brady, Dallas, Dak Prescott is solid. Yeah. Yep, it is what it is. Dak has improved. Yes, indeed. But certain importance, let me see if I can read your comment before I go. Situations, especially throwing the long, I guess you're saying throwing the long ball, he has to be more accurate. Yeah, I agree. He has to be more accurate. Yeah, he can't throw the ball as high as the moon. He got to figure out ways to throw that ball a little bit lower. All right, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to you, Akeem, and shout out to you, Billy, Bob, and Ben. I always appreciate you all. Thank you all. Do me a favor, hit that share button. Tell a friend, neighbor, foe where to go when they want to tune into Dallas Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.